All right. Thank you so much once again for being a part of Drive Conference. Thank you for queuing me from the hall, Tolu. I believe that we are all having a great time. Now, in this session, we're going to be having an amazing time with someone I respect so much. His name is Mr. Tola Alabi. They call him the Logo King. I call him the Brand King. He's someone that I've been following since as way back as 2014, 15, thereabouts, years ago, basically. And he has been part of the people that have inspired me in my creative journey. I think even earlier than that, way earlier than that, because it's 2020. I think I'm following him since 2010 thereabouts. Yeah, I really can't place it. So he has been, and he's one of those few people in our creative community, for those that can attest with me, that when you follow on social media, you would grow as a creative professional. I would also encourage everybody in the hall listening in today should follow Pro Masterclass on YouTube. It's a YouTube channel that he keeps dropping valuable and important messages that will help you grow as a creative professional, especially if you are a designer. So welcome to Drive Conference, Mr. Tola Alabi. Thank you so much for being a part of us, sir.
Thank you very much for having me again. It's always good to be here.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's good to have him. You don't know how important it is for us to have Mr. Tola Alabi to join us in every year. So what we're doing in this conference is that Mr. Tola Alabi is going to be speaking on an interesting topic. And as much as he's going to be speaking on this topic, what we're going to be doing in this session is that we're trying as much as possible to let him answer questions that are related to his topics that has been given by people that are in the conference as we speak right now. So Mr. Tola is going to be speaking on the topic creativity and the design in business. Creativity and the design in business. So basically, in summary, the business of design. So we're going to be having a chit chat session. And the first question I'm going to be asking Mr. Tola is that, Mr. Tola, this is a personal question. This is not from somebody from the conference. The topic today is a conversation on creativity and design in business. To set a foundation for today's session, I want to ask, what is the primary purpose of creativity and design in business? Because a lot of people don't have that understanding. What is the primary purpose of creativity and design in business, sir?
All right. Well, I guess once again, thanks for having me to discuss this topic with you. And forgive me, I have a little bit of a cold, so I might be sniffing there, but hope it doesn't disturb my communication.
No, it doesn't, sir. It doesn't.
All right. So creativity and design in business. I think, first of all, it would be good to have a background of what creativity is and what design is. Because a lot of times we have people that kind of model the two together because they have similarities, but they're kind of different. So is a creative a designer? Is a designer necessarily a creative? No, they aren't. They are two different things. Creativity finds its foundation in the mind. So creativity is more about thinking. You understand? It's rooted in thinking. Design finds its foundation in expression and in order. So design is rooted in doing. So you can have somebody who is a creative and he has very unique thoughts, and you can be a creative without any instruments, no tools, no, all you need is your mind. You have good thoughts, and you have thoughts that are valuable. You understand? So that's what creativity comes in, when you can have unique thoughts concerning something, and design is taking those thoughts and ordering them in a way that they make sense and people can relate with it. What is the place of this in business? The place of this in business is the fact that with every year that goes on, business gets harder to do. So like business is going to be harder next year than this year. Business is going to be harder in 2025 than in 2021, because there are more people. And when there are more people in the world, there's more competition and there are more people to serve. And so it becomes very hard, number one, to compete. It becomes very hard to stand out in the mind of customers. And that's where creativity and design now comes in. in the sense that businesses have to look for new, innovative ways of doing things, of presenting their services, of presenting their products. So because of that, the onus is on creatives to think of new ways in which businesses can position themselves uniquely in the mind of people. In spite of the number of businesses you have there, you can have this one business that will never leave your mind. In spite of the amount of competition out there, your product can stand amongst 1,000 products, and people will say, I want that one. And that's where design and creativity comes in. Creativity thinks of how do we stand out in the market, and design kind of writes out a road plan and puts an order in which it might be through designing the package or designing the logo, or designing the experience, and that now helps you as a business to stand out. I kind of think of it. I've had a tailor I've been using for years now, and I stopped using him like 2 years ago. Why? Not because his skill dipped. No, his skill didn't dip, but he had been sewing the same type of thing for me for about 10 years, and there was no innovation. There was nothing new. So it wasn't exciting. It became boring. I had to look for somebody who was younger, who had better ideas, new ideas, was more adventurous. You can see that because of a lack of creativity and design, he lost me as a customer. Not because his skills went down, but just because he did, there was no nuance to it, you understand, no novelty to it. And I guess that's where creativity and design has to come into every business, because every business has to evolve and bring something new with the passage of time.
So that means that as creative professionals, graphic artists, designers, our responsibility in an organization, beyond just creating the brand and marketing solutions, we should also, because of how wide our intellectual capacity is, because of the way in which we observe life, we should always also be looking at creative solutions on how, beyond just the branding, which is, even though it's not a primary responsibility, but be looking for more creative way to market the products, basically. Is that what you're trying to say, sir?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
All right. So meaning that what designers should be involved in marketing briefs to be able to give that wow factor, that X factor. You understand?
Yes.
When it comes to things like activation, expressions, market solutions, and all that. Yeah. That's a good one, sir. That's a good one. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that beautiful insight. So this is going to take me to my second question. This is not part of the question that someone has asked. How do I now improve my creativity as a designer? Because based on your conversation, is the creativity that brings, the creativity is like the inspirational part. The design is the order that interprets that inspiration. You understand? It brings that inspiration into life. So how do I improve my creativity as a designer? Then I'll go to the question from the viewers. Right? We're compiling them together right now.
Yeah. As I said earlier, that creativity leads design. The creativity guides design. Design gives a form to creativity. You understand? So you can think of creativity as a spirit. And I know the spirit in itself cannot interact with the physical world. It needs something that is a body to express what it wants to do as a spirit. And so design is the body that kind of interacts with the physical world. So how do you improve your creativity? I think the first thing to improve your creativity, which is where a lot of designers need to pay close attention, is the fact that you need to separate the act of designing with the act of creating. You understand? Separate them. Because a lot of people are designers, but they're not creatives. They're not creatives because what they do is take orders. You understand? So someone tells you, I need this, I need this, I need this. So you're taking briefs and just putting it in order. You understand? Because you know how to use the tools. But then the creative is somebody that thinks and through his thoughts solves the problem, and might or might not be able to use a design tool in expressing, but can employ a designer to express. So how do you improve creativity is basically asking yourself, how do you improve your thinking? How do you come up with unique thoughts that are attractive, that can sell to a business? And one way to do that is by being open. And this is where I was saying a lot of designers need to pay attention. You cannot be open only to design or things that are related to design. You need to be open to life if you want to be creative. If you want to be creative, you need to be open to nature. You need to be open to sports. You need to be open to play. You need to be open to everything, because there is inspiration in everything. So your conversations must be rich. And when I say conversations, they don't have to be actual talking with somebody, but your conversations might be your interaction with the world around you, your sense of observation. You understand? So if you want to be more creative, then you need to be able to study nature well. I remember watching a documentary about an architect who designed an airport in New York. I can't remember the name of the airport anymore, but it's a pretty unique design. I know the interviewing on how did he come up with that design, and he said he went out to the park one day and he was looking at birds, and he saw a bird about to take off, and that just inspired the design of the layout of the airport. You can see that was creativity that came out not from him being in the studio, but it came out from him being in nature and just being cognizant of things that were going on around him and saying, hmm, that seems interesting. Can we use this? Do you understand? So that's how you can improve your creativity, by being a student of life, not a student of design.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. I hope viewers are picking one or two things. Please, let's bring out our notepad to pay attention. This is very important. Every time I have a privilege to question Mr. Tola, there's always something to learn. All right, now this is still deviating. I'm going to be going into the questions. The time is definitely on our side, but I want to ask something. There was something you posted on social media because I follow you a lot. So please, let's ensure that we just go to on social media, LinkedIn, especially LinkedIn. Are you getting me now? Facebook and Instagram. Please, let's ensure we follow him. Trust me, his thoughts are always very, very interesting. Now, you posted something. You said you noticed that designs, especially in this part of the world, I might not get your exact nuance, but I think I understood your thoughts, are becoming the same.
Oh.
You understand? Are becoming the same. So, what would you like to speak to that? Because obviously we're referring to everybody in this conference as we speak right now, at least 80% of us, basically. Yeah. And I totally agree with you. You understand? Designs are becoming the same. You understand? Though once in a while, when you go on LinkedIn, you see people doing some things out of the box. Maybe one or two agencies in Nigeria or one or two people in abroad. You understand? So what do you want to speak to that for? And how can we get to improve more on this side?
Yeah, and yeah, I remember the post you're talking about on LinkedIn. And basically we're just addressing the issue that designers need to learn to dig deep. And I always tell people this, that especially when I'm talking to designers in this generation, younger designers, I feel a lot of pity for them. And when I say pity, maybe not pity is not the right word, but empathy to what they have to deal with. Because the way the world is right now, it is very easy to get distracted. I've been designing now for 17 years. When I started designing, there was no Facebook. Do you understand? At best, there was something called MySpace, and it wasn't a thing for the people to show their design. You understand? So then, when I had to design, you see, I didn't have so much to look at and say, oh, look at what this person is doing, look at what that person is doing. I really had to dig deep into myself and read books and, then go to companies on the internet that were design companies, which were not easy to find then because internet was not on a phone. You had to go to a cyber cafe. You understand?
That's so true. You do overnight browsing.
You do overnight. You understand that kind of thing. So because it was so hard to access external information, you have to dig deep into yourself and say, what do I find interesting? How do I create this thing? So I might see a design on a product and I just go in there and say, I want to try to recreate this thing. And by trying, I might not be able to create the design on the product, but by trying, I'll create something unique. And I say, okay, I never knew I could do this with Photoshop. I'd created something on my own, which was a style I created on my own. But now people don't have their styles anymore because there's too much access to how to do it. So if you just want to do stuff, now, how do I create this effect in this? Google will give you the answer. But what the answer Google gives you is not the answer. It is an answer. You understand? From somebody. It is not the answer. Because the answer can be an expression of different things. But because you haven't given yourself the time to really think and say, there's no other way. I need to think of how to solve this problem. You see, and then I used to design with a number of friends, a group of friends of mine, about 4 or 5 of them. And then we'll all try to do different effects. We'll look at something and say, how did these guys do this thing? Because when looking at tutorials, we look at how did they do this thing? And then we'll have to go back to our homes and think of how to recreate that thing. The interesting thing is that when we came back to check how we recreated it, we all recreated the same thing, but we all had 5 different ways of recreating it because we all didn't go to one tutorial to check how to do it. You understand? And then we look at, oh, whose method was the fastest? Whose method was the most effective? You understand that kind of thing? By that way, we were creating. But now, with the internet, with social media, we're not creating anymore. We're just consuming. We're consuming. So we're just looking at somebody's page and say, oh, this is how we drew a bed. Okay, so I'm going to consume that and just recreate it.
With free pics.
with free pics, you understand? All those things. It seems like it makes life easy, but it makes us lazy at the same time. So that's what I was trying to say in that post, that we need to sometimes shut out external influence, not totally because there's nothing new, but we must be able to look deep inside and go and do some deeper research, not just look on the surface, which is where I see that we miss it on design. Even when we do research, we do recent research. People don't go back to old designers, like people who used to design in the 70s, 80s, and really just look at what these people are doing, like they do in music. That's why if you look at music producers, especially abroad, not here, what they do is that they listen to music from the 70s, 80s, and just try to listen to what they can pick from there. And they come out with something new that is relatable now. So I just feel research in design, discovery in design should be deeper, not just, oh, let me just go and find inspiration on Mr. Tola's page. I say, okay, so I just found it. No, it's more than just going to, you must just, it's good to get inspiration from what other people have done. But after that, just think, what do I want to bring to the table? What's my voice in this? What makes it unique?
Great. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. So we have some people that have asked some questions, some interesting questions here as relates to the topic that we have today, which is creativity and design in business. Creativity and design in business. So we're going to the next question. This was asked by Oloruntomi Dosunmu. Oloruntomi Dosunmu is asking that the creative industry is a big industry as it seems, but yet we have those with creative skills not making good because some of their skills are less charged. So I think what he's trying to say here is that we have people in the creative industry or in the creative industry who are not making it good because their skills are less charged. So what do you have to say to that?
Yeah, that's, and I think that's one thing we need to correct. When you have, see, and this is one thing I try to propagate in the minds of what we might call the creative industry here, is the fact that your skills is just one small part of the whole system. A lot of people feel, get the skills, get the money. Because that's what this guy is trying to say. They're not making good, meaning they're not being paid well enough. Now, your skills, just one small part of the whole system. And the system, you see, for you to make money in the creative industry, it gets harder and harder because there are more people that know how to design. More people that know how to design these days. There are younger people that know how to design these days. People in secondary school, some people in primary school know how to design. You understand? My daughter started designing and she's in primary 4. You understand what I'm saying? I can imagine what she'll be doing when she's in GS1. Do you understand? She can be taking briefs. You understand what I'm saying? So younger people are beginning to design. They're beginning to come up with apps that can design for you or guide you in designing. So how do you now sell yourself as a designer? And that now comes down to, you need to go beyond the skills. Yes, the skills are good. If your skills are good, it's good. But you need something to back up your skills. And what backs up your skills are those soft skills that we ignore in the industry. And that's like communication. Communication is a very, very key skill. Do you as a designer, you are good with Photoshop, you are good with Illustrator, you are good with Corridor, you are good with Figma, whatever your poison is, you are good with it. But then, are you good in communicating in your human interaction? You understand? Can you communicate with empathy with a client? And client can say, oh, I just spoke with Demola And it was just an awesome conversation. We connected. He understands me. I understand him. He is the man for the job. You understand? Those soft skills are the things that allow you to charge a premium for the same thing that somebody is doing, the same quality of work, but they are paying you 6 figures, they're paying that person 4 figures. You understand? Just those soft skills of you know how to just connect with people on an emotional level. You can listen, you've developed the art of listening, of connecting, of communicating, of presenting yourself. You understand? Of dressing. You understand? You know how to dress and look like someone that is responsible. You know how to you know how to reach down into yourself, and you have a good sense of self-awareness, let me put it that way, so that when the client talks to you, there's a level of confidence that this guy knows his work, so that when you talk, they don't argue, they just listen. As clients, they're like, oh, this guy sounds like he knows his work. You understand? So you look exposed, you're open-minded, you're empathetic. I was talking with a friend of mine on WhatsApp, and then he was telling me about how he was collaborating with another designer to do a job. And in the process of doing the job, the client was like, can you come up, can you help me with this content and help me to correct this? And the designer was like, oh, it's not my job. My job is to do the design. I don't do content. You understand? You see, even if he didn't do content, his communication was terrible. And that turned off the client. The client was like, okay, I'm not interested in working this name. I'll find somebody else. You see, that kind of person now would go up and say, oh, well, you see, I'm good with Figma. Why don't people want to pay me? They don't want to pay you because you don't have other skills that endears people. So I think designers should learn the skill, but also have intellectual skills and social skills, communication skills. Those are two things that are missing in the industry. Intellectual skills. And when I say intellectual skills, designers don't have a sense of self-worth. They don't know what their work is worth. They don't know why a client should pay. So they just charge out of wishful thinking. Tell the client, oh, pay me 200,000. And client says, okay, why am I paying 200,000 for this? And you can't say just the fact that you want 200,000. That's not enough. You understand? And then you meet other people that have no sense, no social skills. You understand? The client calls you, you're not available. You understand? They call you, you don't return calls. They send you messages, you don't return messages. You are going to be late on delivering on a project. You ignore calls because you're going to be late. You don't call ahead of time to say you're going to be late. You have a meeting, you're going to be 5 minutes late. You can call and say, oh, sorry, 30 minutes before time. I'm going 5 minutes. Those small things add to your packaging to say, this guy knows what he's doing and he deserves this amount of money. But people just think, I'm good with Photoshop, so pay me the money. Too many people are good with Photoshop right now. Too many people. You understand? So you need to stand up above the crowd, read more books, have more conversations, you understand? Talk with more people, be more endearing, be more charming, be more empathetic. And then you realize that it's not all about who uses Photoshop best or who uses CorelDRAW best.
All right, thank you so much. So we have lots of questions by our viewers. I hope you guys are picking one or two things. Please ensure that you're taking note. This is very important. And this information are life transforming. That is why we are having Drive Conference and we're bringing these people to make us understand the things that we need to know at the level in which we are in our design, creative and tech skills. All right, so I'm just going to ask just one question and a thought for it to round up the whole session because we've exceeded time today. So my next question is from Osasunwen, Uyu Eribo. So he's asking that how can I get more clients that will pay well?
I was actually going to say this is going to be the first session I've had that someone has not asked that question. How can I get more clients? And you have to close with that question.
Yes. That was exactly how he asked it. Exactly how can I get more clients that will pay you? Emphasize. That will pay me well.
Yeah. You see. I understand where it's coming from, and this is where self-control comes in. And then why did you get into the industry? You would also ask yourself that question. Why are you a designer? Why did you start? I tell people, business is not for people that are desperate to get money. If you need money urgently, don't start a business. It's going to work counter what you are looking for, because urgent money doesn't come from business. If you are broke, business is not a good thing to start when you're broke. It doesn't solve your brokenness problem. Business doesn't solve that. Business, the best reason to start business is to solve a problem. It's from an eagerness to solve a problem or an eagerness to express something within you. You understand? But if it's from I need money sharp sharp, no. So this question of how do I get more clients that can pay me more? I think that is the very reason why you're not getting clients. We need to get rid of that question. How do I get more clients? You see, you will get more clients when you start taking care of the small clients you have. You understand? That's the way it works. You take care of the people that you are accessible to right now and are accessible to you, the people that want you. You take care of the people that want you. And then you become more desirable by the people that think they don't want you. You understand? It's just like, I'll give this incident, and this is just like a relationship. You see, something happens in a relationship between a guy and a lady. A guy might go to a lady and ask for them to start dating. And the lady will feel, oh, this guy, man, he's not good enough for me. He can't meet my needs. You understand? And he moves on from that lady. If he goes to another lady that is ready to be with him, and he takes care of that lady, and by the time people see that lady, the next time they see her looking all happy, looking better than she was before she started dating that guy. Before you know it, that first lady that thought he wasn't good enough will begin to come back to him and saying, I'm available now, because she wants that thing. You see, and that's why sometimes they say that some married men are more attractive to single ladies because what they see is somebody that is already taking care of another woman. You understand that? If you can take care of this, you can take care of me. And the same thing with clients. When people see you taking care of your small clients and they see that you can take a client from 0 to 10, the person that is on 20 will be like, okay, if I take this person from 0 to 10, it means that I can take us from 20 to 50. You understand what I'm saying? So you must focus on those small clients. And when I tell people my story, I didn't start with big companies. By no means. I started with my brother, my sister, my cousin, my this. So people didn't pay jack. But you see what? Because I started my business out of a desire to express myself I love design. I was doing it for them and I wanted everybody to get. So people that paid me 500 naira, I did a logo that was worth 20,000 for them. People that paid me 20,000, I did a logo that was worth 500,000 for them. My delivery of my value was always exponential. So whenever they went and talked to people and said, and the people asked them, who did your logo? Who did your branding? They're like, Tola, one guy, you should work with him, or man, what it is really helped our company. Before you know it, I was getting people who I thought were out of my league calling me to work for them. So you cannot focus on let me get bigger clients. What you must focus on is, who are the people I have right now? Who are the people that desire me right now? How can I serve these people to a point whereby when they go out, they are so attractive that people will see them and ask them, who did your stuff? Who worked on this your website? Who worked on this your app? Who worked on this your design? And then I'll say it was this guy. And before you know it, you wouldn't be pitching. You see, when I started, I was pitching too. I was going to companies, I was going to banks, going with my file folder saying, you should work with us. Look at, none of them replied me. But now tables have turned. People call me and I'm like, how did this person get my number? You understand? How? And they tell me, oh no, we got a number from somebody. I don't even bother asking them who they got my number from anymore, because I realized I've done good work for people and that is now coming back to repay me. You understand? So stop thinking about how to get bigger clients. Start serving the people that you're serving and give them 120%. And trust me, it will come back to you. People that you don't know will start calling you.
All right. Thank you so much for that thoughtful, deep insights. You understand, sir? So creatives that are listening to this, please, I hope you are learning. Creativity is a journey. It's a journey. I see a lot of creatives who just started your business 1 year ago, I won't start charging like Tola Alabi. And I'm like, have you lost your mind? Are you getting what I'm saying right now? So it's a journey, it's a process. Just enjoy the journey and the process. And in a very short period of time, you definitely will get there. So thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate right now. I just have one more question for you. The theme of this conference is Evolve, the Future of Creative and Tech. You understand? And the reason why we had this theme is that last year was the pandemic, where we had disrupt leveraging on emerging global opportunities. And we believe that there is an evolve. And I remember I made that, I was watching an old YouTube video I did in 2019 Drive conference when I had an appearance somewhere. And I remember I said something unconsciously in that interview. I said 2020 is like a shadow of things to come. I said that 2020 was, and I didn't know that there was going to be a pandemic, to be sincere. You understand what I'm saying right now? But I'm someone that I meditate a lot. You get deep thinking, like you said, creative thinking. You get, I was like, I perceived that 2020 was a shadow of things to come and was something that was going to speed up things, basically. Now, a lot of creative have seen where the world is pivoting to. We have the metaverse happening, augmented reality, virtual reality. And then when I was thinking about the future, someone was asking me that would design not be important in future? And I told them something that as long as there's a need for human to communicate, there's a need for design. As long as there's a need for human to interface with machine, there's a need for what design. You understand, sir? So the question I want to ask basically is this: what is your advice based on this conversation? What is your advice that you want to give creatives that are approaching 2020 and the future? For those that are listening and for those that are listening online and for those that are in the conference right now, what advice do you want to give them based on your current thoughts? Sir, the most latest one that happened, you get last night. Fresh one.
All right, so what's my advice for designers going forward into the next year and the future?
Yes, sir.
I think my advice going forward, and you said I should talk about my most recent thoughts, is the fact that you should focus on experience, on customer experience. You understand? Focus on experience. You see, because I know a lot of people I'm talking to right now, a lot of you are not Fortune 500 companies. A lot of you don't have big facilities, big offices. A lot of you are working from your room. A lot of you are working from one small office. You understand? And sometimes you get intimidated by the bigger companies that have like offices, they have branches in VI or maybe that kind of thing. They are big, when you go to their design studios, there's AC, there's carpet on the floor, there's carpet on the wall, there's carpet on the ceiling, that kind of thing. They are looking so good. And you're like, these guys are going to take all the clients. You understand? There's an advantage I've seen from working with businesses that small businesses have over big businesses. You see, small businesses focus too much on big businesses with facilities. They get intimidated by the facilities. Oh, their office is so big. They have 5 company cars. They have 200 staff. I can't compete with them. You see, one thing I want you to know as a smaller business is what big companies miss out on because they have facilities. They don't focus on experience anymore. They don't focus on that interpersonal experience with their clients. Their clients just become statistics. They think that, we have the facility, that's enough. Look, as a smaller business, you have the opportunity to have intimate experiences with your clients, where this big business is saying, okay, come to our office by so and so. You can tell your client, let's meet at so and so eatery over a cup of coffee, over a drink. Look, that meeting is more personal than a meeting of let's meet in our boardroom of this. You understand what I'm saying? That way you can get to talk to the person and ask the person, talk about their family, talk about their children, talk about their clothes, talk about their color. Those are the things, experience. Look, going forward, the customer going forward is more concerned about a good brand experience than about fancy facilities. That's why small companies are winning now. You understand? Small companies are winning. You see something that happened during the pandemic? Nobody could go to anybody's office anymore. So nobody cared whether you were working from a multi-story facility. Nobody went. People now started to work with people online, one-on-one. Okay, how good are they? How nice are they? How are they listening to me? You realize that small companies started winning because they've honed the skill of interpersonal relationship with big companies did not have. Big companies were relying on come book a session with us, with our receptionist, park here. But when people could not park anywhere, they have to start working with smaller companies. People then realize, oh, these smaller companies are actually delivering more than these bigger companies. So you see, going forward, don't get intimidated by big companies and by their facilities or their equipment or stuff like that. Focus on interpersonal relationship, intimate experiences with your clients. Know your client's favorite color. No, on that note, know them, know how many children they have, know their birthdays. Do you understand? Interact, talk with them, have a conversation, and you guys laugh. You understand what I'm saying? They will keep coming to you. They will bypass big companies to come to you. So don't focus on the product too much or the service too much. Focus on that, but that's good. But let them have a good general experience. Even when they're not, even when they're not working, the fact that they just spoke to you, let them feel good about talking to you as a small business. You give me some clarity. Thank you for talking to me. Thank you for listening to me. You understand? And you realize that going forward, you will make more money. You have more clients, you have more sales. So my advice is focus on customer experience, and you'll see how you compete with companies you never thought you would compete with.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. As in most times, whenever I listen to you, I always wish we can just continue. As in literally in every Drive conference. Yeah, so thank you so much. So please, guys, this is the kind of experience you have when you are in the Pro Masterclass YouTube channel. You understand? I've been following the Pro Masterclass YouTube channel for over a year right now. And you see him.
Pro Up Masterclass.
Pro Up Masterclass, sorry. Pro Up Masterclass. So go on YouTube right now and subscribe to Pro Up Masterclass. Pick up your phone, guys. For those that are watching online, pick up your phone right now. Pick up your phone right now. Go to YouTube and subscribe to Pro Up Masterclass. Go on Instagram as I'm speaking to you right now. And go on Instagram and follow Tola Alabi. You can't miss it. It's a unique brand name. Are you getting on Facebook? You see a TA logo with one glitter lens effect. That logo has been existing to you years. When that logo came into being years ago, we were thinking about our life. When Tola Alabi came with his logo, TA, I was like, Jesus, what is this logo? Are you guys know? Then what was trending was gradients. We do gradients, we play a lot of effects. He just came up with his logo, just T and A, and he just shattered the roof. That was way back in the days, man. Thank you so much for always setting the pace. Thank you so much for always mentoring people. Now, the reason why I say you should follow him on Instagram is that he's one of those few people that I respect, that are senior people in the industry, that have live session with younger creatives. So you get to meet him having live session with other communities. So thank you so much for being part of the Drive conference community. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this session, I bet you that you will have more insights in the YouTube channel. So thank you so much once again, sir. I really appreciate you. Thank you for always hitting to our call. I know how busy you are. People cannot imagine sacrificing this. How many times I have to call Mr. Tola and how busy he is going to create time.
Thanks for your patience.
Yeah, okay. So thank you so much, sir. For those in the hall, thank you for being part of this session once again. Please don't forget to subscribe to Pro Up Masterclass YouTube channel. Go on Instagram and go on Facebook. Follow Mr. Tola Alabi, and especially on LinkedIn. One thing I respect him for is that he's always posting great new thoughts, new conversation. And you can also follow him on Behance to see his works and see some of the things that would inspire you with what he does. He's one of the frontier in the industry that I respect so much, that keeps setting the pace and keep breaking new bounds. So thank you so much once again. So Tolu Ajibola in the hall, over to you as you take us to the next session in Drive Conference. Don't forget Drive Conference, drive your future. Thank you very much.